Hey guys, so this was another one that I'm going to do because a lot of y'all are corrupting and don't understand what the gospel of grace is. So I'm showing you where the Lord is warning you, and I want to do it before I lose the light here so I can upload when I get into town tomorrow. This is Matthew chapter 22. This is the parable of the marriage feast, is what this Bible calls it, but I think it's really more about the wedding garment. Jesus answered, and he spoke to them again by parables, and he said, "The kingdom of heaven is like to a certain king that made a marriage for his son. And he sent forth his servants to call them that were bidden to the wedding, and they would not come." Understand who that is. They would not come. Again, he sent forth other servants, saying, "Tell them that are bidden, Behold, I have prepared my dinner, my oxen, my fatlings are killed, and all things are ready, come into the marriage." But they made light of it. They went their ways, one to his farm, another to his merchandise, his business, and the remnant, or his job. And the remnant took his servants and entreated them spitefully and killed them. But when the king heard of it, these mosquitoes are horrible. But when the king heard of it and went their ways, one to his farm and another to his business. I just repeated that. And the remnant took the servants, treated them badly and spitefully, and killed them. But when the king heard thereof, he was very angry, and he sent forth his armies. He destroyed those murderers, and he burned up their city. Then says he to his servants, "The wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy." They were not worthy. They were invited, but they were not worthy. Let that sink in deep, deep, deep. We're not worthy. "Go ye therefore into the highways, as many as you find, bid them to the marriage." So those servants went out to the highways, and they gathered together all, as many as they found, both bad and good. And the wedding was furnished with guests. Well, wait a second. Why did they bring in the bad if the others weren't worthy? And when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there a man that did not have on a wedding garment. And he said to him, "Friend, how do you come in here not having on a wedding garment?" The man was speechless. Then said the king to the servants, "Tie him up, hand and foot. Take him away, and cast him into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. For many are called, but few are chosen." If you read Revelation, you will understand that the wedding garment represents purity. The man came into a holy king's wedding for his son. He did not come in having accepted the right heart or the purity. Psalm 51 says, "Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow." Revelation tells us that those that overcome and are washed in the blood of the Lamb will be given a white garment. It is purity. You are called to purity inside and out. If you don't have on your wedding garment, you will be kicked out of the wedding feast. Now, the bad got in because when they were invited, they heard the good news, they accepted. They put on their wedding garments. But this one, he made it in somehow. We don't know how. But he was kicked out and cast out, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Now, I know a lot of you want to argue about my usage of hell and some of these phrases that the Bible uses, but I'm just reading. If you want to go do a study on all of that, that's great. Do it. But I looked it up, and it means weeping and gnashing of teeth like you would in pain. It doesn't sound like a place I want to be. There's a lot of the pastors that I've heard that try to say that they want to teach a little bit more truth because a lot of people have caught on to them. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants God there when they get there. That is true. But y'all ain't going to heaven if you're not reconciled to God first. He's a holy God. Holy. Sin cannot exist around him or in his kingdom. His kingdom is here now. That is why when you're in the flesh, you cannot stop sinning. You cannot overcome any sin. You have to do all of the hard things that he says. Die. Forsake all. Deny yourself. Pick up your cross. It was a cross of suffering, guys. And I'm here to tell you, there's a lot of it going on in those that are trying to answer the call. Otherwise, we wouldn't have had to have been told, work out your own salvation in fear and trembling. Your belief means nothing. Many are called, few are chosen. And this guy obviously believed in the king because he was more worthy than the ones that were bidden and rejected. He got in, but he didn't have on a wedding garment. That's harsh, right? Oh, Jesus really didn't mean that. Oh, yes, he did. He's not a man that he should lie. He doesn't just make up these stories because he doesn't mean them. They are veiled. They do need holy understanding, and I'm giving it to you. Not because I have anything in me in my flesh, but because I have been taught of the Lord. I gain nothing except your persecution. I don't want anything because I'm working to lay up my treasure in heaven, that I may be counted worthy. You have to be counted worthy. It's right there. I read it. And there's a whole lot of that. You're judged by your deeds. Depart from me, you worker of iniquity. That was the only requirement. I did that in the last video. They were locked out because they were still workers of iniquity, sinners, sin committers, that still had unrepentant sin. And they were locked out. And he said, depart from me, I never knew you. There could be no reconciliation with them. There cannot be reconciliation to a holy God unless you let him indwell, and he will not until all full repentance and death to self, can occur, has occurred. It's all there, guys. You have to read it all as a whole. They all fit together. I give you this as a warning that you may receive the love of the truth and be reconciled to your true God and Father. Maranatha.